Hey everybody, so as I'm sure most of y'all are aware, Jon David went into cardiac arrest this past morning, Tuesday morning, 4 a.m. I didn't do an update for Monday because I had planned on doing it, at night, and then he had a little episode and that kind of postponed me, and then he ended up going into arrest, and that's kind of what happened. But I'm going to just kind of combine and tell you everything starting from Monday. So it's like Sunday night, he had a good night. Went into Monday for surgery. He got bumped up to first case because the first case got canceled and he was supposed to be second, so ended up going early at like 7 a.m. And then basically everything went pretty well. They switched the band out, had the partial closure. He came back to the room. He was looking good. They actually made some adjustments on like the vent settings. They weaned him down. Like everything was looking good. And then get into last night, about 8, somewhere between 8 and 9, he had a little episode where he got tachycardic, meaning his heart rate got up, and then also just blood pressure was, a little wonky. His ventilator, like his breaths, how big they were, got a little wonky. They called them the tidal volumes, but his tidal volumes got a little wonky, and they got some extra sedation. He settled down, and then about 4 a.m., same thing happened. And then about 4:20, he ended up going into cardiac arrest. And then that was a whole thing, and that has been rough. However, the good news is that his heart started beating again. That was because of CPR. So as soon as he went to cardiac arrest, started CPR, his heart started beating again. And since then, he's had a relatively stable day. So that's the good news. That's a miracle. According to one of the attendings here, that pretty much doesn't happen. Maybe 5 or 10% of the time it happens. But it is not normal for a kid to have RV failure, which is right ventricular failure, and then to be able to be resuscitated with CPR. It happened. We're going to be thankful for it. We'll praise God for it. Praise the medical staff here who are, one of the best in the country. That is what we're going to be thankful for. Now, his road forward, he now has an open chest, and what kind of caused the cardiac arrest, at least to their understanding, is that basically when they did the banding, they banded in the OR, and it looked good. And then when they closed him over time, it seems like it just got a little too tight. And so that seems to be what happened. So this morning when they came in, once they resuscitated him, they opened his chest back up, adjusted the band, made it looser, and he seems to love it. So we are happy that he loves it. He seems to be good in this spot right now. And so the plan is for the next couple of days to hopefully be stable and maybe even be able to wean some things to give him some margins. So that way on Thursday, which is what they're thinking right now, Thursday will be when they try and close him again, probably partial closure again, because he doesn't seem to handle things fast. And so what the hope is that the band, as it is now, he'll get accustomed to it between now and then. Whereas like yesterday, they made an adjustment on the band and then also closed him, which were two relatively big changes for his heart. And it just seems like maybe that was a little too much for him. For most kids, it probably wouldn't be, but for Jon David, he needs Jon David steps, and so it seems like it was. So today was definitely a Choose Hope Daily day, and actually when I was scrolling on Facebook Day, I saw this. There's a group called Levi's Legacy that was started by a CHD family who lost their little boy Levi, and it is for CHD families and also to help fund for CHD research. But the post they had, I'll have it in here in a minute, but it is, hope is not pretending that troubles don't exist. It is the hope that they won't last forever, that hurts will be healed and difficulties overcome, that will be led out of the storm and into the sunshine. And to me, I think that kind of sums up the Choose Hope Daily pretty well. That's what we're hoping for. It's not that we don't have these battles that we fight. Like today was definitely a tough battle, but it is the hope that we will get to the other side of the battle and be victorious and be able to find green pastures, really, I guess, on the other side, using the analogy of the buffalo they've got. But speaking of our herd, there are a lot of people who recognize that I did not post anything last night, which is very abnormal. And so a lot of y'all knew something was wrong. We appreciate y'all checking in on us, praying for us. And also, it just has been a lot, but again, thank y'all for your prayers. Specifically, if y'all will pray for things going forward, that one, he'll be stable and they'll be able to wean down some of his supports going into Thursday to give him those margins so that when they close his chest, they will be able to have more tools in their toolbox to work with him. Two, that his heart, lungs, and kidneys will continue to strengthen and function well. And so that way, those are the big three systems, honestly, going through this that we all need to they're kind of interconnected. And so need those things to work well together so that way we can progress and forward. And then honestly, pray for all the kids and the families up here, because going back to that hope, everybody's got to have hope because everybody up here is going through a time. And so it just is one of those things where just pray for them, pray for the kiddos that they'll have strength and resiliency and be able to push through whatever challenges they're facing medically, and pray for the families as they go through the emotional and mental battle, because it is definitely one up here. And then I just want to share one thing that I read today. I actually read Jon David after we got back in here. I've started running out of kids' books to read to him up here, so I've started reading him my daily devotion, Jesus Calling. But this is Psalm 46, 1-3, and it's actually from January because I started from the beginning of the book and going back through. But God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. Which I think is a very appropriate thing given how today went and how things can get rocky at times and feel like it is all falling down around us. And God's there for us. I'm going to be real honest and blunt. If not for our faith and if not for God, I don't know where we'd be. And honestly, we've been told by the attendings that Friday was a miracle. We've been told that today is a miracle. I mean, these have been miracles. These are not common for a kid to get as sick as he did on Friday, to get as sick as he did this morning, and then not go on ECMO. And we are going to praise God for that. We're going to praise the medical team, who again is one of the best in the country and did everything in their power to come out with a good outcome, and they have twice. And so again, we're just thankful and blessed to have the outcomes that we've had in the last 5 days. So also, Hunter had fun practicing casting, finding out that he's going to be a ring bearer and holding the ring for Auntie Gigi's wedding, and then just playing in the pool and having fun. And again, we are very blessed that we have the ability to have Hunter kind of away from here and away from this, and he can come when things are less dramatic and critical. So we are very appreciative for that and very blessed for that. But that is basically what we've gone through in the last 2 days. I'll try to get you one tomorrow. Hopefully things will be nice and smooth. But y'all have a good night. God bless, and we'll see you later.
Mash that button good. Gotta mash the button good. Safe.
Yep. Hunter and Jon David.
Hunter and Jon David, keep them safe.
And Jon David, tell everybody bye-bye.